New Assassin's Creed Shadows footage just came in. It's called the Two Protagonists, and you know me, I wait for these videos, and I just can't wait to see them. I can't wait to react to the new content with you guys and just share my excitement with the community. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. All right, let's see what they got in store for us.
One thing we really wanted to do at the start is deliver on great player fantasy. And as we started diving, we had two emerging player fantasies that were awesome.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
as we
one thing
started
I've
diving,
noticed
we had
is look at the lighting. In the first trailer they showed us the last time I reacted to gameplay footage of this, it just looks so much better than it did last time. Just even the reflections on Yasuke's like shoulder pads and just how everything's looking, it's just a lot more polished, as it should be expected, I guess.
two emerging player fantasies that were awesome, the shinobi and the samurai. What we didn't want is try to dilute them into
Samurai.
one fantasy. We really wanted to explore both sides. So that's something where we said, well, we need two characters.
The setting that we had.
Naoe is so much smaller than Yasuke.
Something where we said, well, we
Like,
need two
just look at
characters.
this shot here. He's almost her height, and he's like completely on his knees.
The setting that we had, the Azuchi Momoyama period in feudal Japan, was such a nuanced time.
That looks really pretty. I wonder if he can go pretty much anywhere. I mean, it is an open world game, so I would assume all these mountains are like traversable. I mean, it's supposed to be a smaller game than Valhalla and an Odyssey apparently, but you know, it still looks pretty massive.
So it was really interesting to be able to work with dual protagonists and develop these two characters as individuals, because we really had the opportunity to explore this era by playing off these two different perspectives.
As we worked our way through it and came up with a dual protagonist, it became very clear that Naoe is the stealth character and Yasuke is the fight character. Speed and agility on one side, then brawn and strength on the other.
You know, when I see like Japanese content, any sort of video game that's set in Japan or especially historical Japan, I don't think guns, I don't think brawn, I don't think like brute strength. I definitely think if they give us the option to just play as one or the other, I'm definitely gonna try out Yasuke, but I think I'm primarily gonna be playing with Naoe, because it just seems like the shadows element is just in her corner as opposed to Yasuke. I don't really think he can like disguise himself anywhere, even if he is in the shadows. So
They differ in every possible way we could make them
yeah,
differ.
yeah, like I just said, yeah. See, this
Our
is Assassin's Creed for
Naoe,
me.
is the imagined daughter of a legendary Egan shinobi, Fujibayashi Nagato. And up until this point, she's actually been quite protected from a lot of the horrors of war that have been going on in other parts of Japan.
She's got a
so
pretty
this is
neighborhood.
going to be her first real taste of what lies beyond, and it has a profound impact on her.
I wanted to have the stealth as a core pillar in Assassin's Creed
Yes,
Shadows.
yes,
Here we'll
more of
recognize
this,
the
please.
classic
Oh yeah, Connor Kenway vibes.
Assassin's Creed experience in Naoe, but we
That looks
adding
sick.
a lot of things that make
Ooh, okay. Just getting a bit more sense of scale again. Let me just remove these captions so we can have a better look of things. Yeah, I mean, are those boats in the water? Is this gonna have naval combat? I doubt it, but probably something akin to or similar to what we got in Valhalla, where we had like just boats and stuff. I can see a few boats there. I imagine they're probably going to use that. They already have the systems to do that pretty easily, I think. We already know the characters can swim and like the bamboo shoot. So yeah, I think we're going to get like water traversal in this game for sure.
her super unique. So she's the best assassin ever.
We want to know
Bold claims, best assassin ever.
way to be extremely fast, efficient, acrobatic. We've worked a lot to make sure that she has the coolest, most spectacular parkour we could give her.
You know, I don't care what anyone says. It's about time we got some more flashy animations. Like, I know these flips are unnecessary, but like half of the stuff Arno did was unnecessary as well. It's just cool. It's nice to look at. It's, you know, it's a step in the right direction, even if it's not executed 100% to perfection.
She can squeeze in tight corners. She can go prone, meaning that the character can go underbelly and
About
just
time.
crawl around in the dirt and disappear from view. We really wanted to leverage all the light elements that come with our new tech and use it in a core way for our Shinobi fantasy specifically. So what that means, at night, you have to read the environment
Yeah,
and hide
just
in the pocket. So
take a
what
look at
that
those
means,
shadows.
At night,
Look at the way the light's reflecting. So much
You
better
have
than
to-
what we saw in that last gameplay trailer.
read the environment and hide in the pockets of shadows that are cast naturally in the world. And that affects how NPCs can see you and if they can sense you at all.
And it's just gonna get better and better. It's just gonna get more
What
and more
we want the
polished
player
until
to
release.
experience is the feeling of being the predator. So you feel like a ninja, you can break light, you can vanish in the shadows.
Maybe I
and
spoke too
enter.
soon right
So
there. You shouldn't the lower half of her face be concealed? It's the reflection's a little bit strange, right around here. Yeah, but you know, they got teams of thousands of people polishing this game every day, so we'll probably see even more improvement in the next gameplay trailer.
You feel like a ninja, you can break light, you can vanish in the shadows, and you're flipping on roof with the
Yeah, I'm
physics-based
definitely
grappling
playing
moves,
as
so
Naoe.
the stealth is more rich than ever, and you really feel that she's like a blade in the shadows.
Yasuke is our first historical protagonist in Assassin's Creed. What we know about Yasuke historically is just a bit, but it was enough to get the team really excited about the
They finally admit, "Oh, it's just a bit." Yeah, it is. It is just a bit, if that.
opportunity to work with him as a character. He can fight his way out of anything, but he's also super smart and can think his way through things equally as well, and is going to be somebody who always has a commanding presence.
So especially in combat, when we think about Yasuke, it's
Yeah.
really about dictating how the fight will go. And
Big
to do so, we
7
created a
foot
mechanic called the
man
posture attack. So he can chamber an attack,
Japan.
and then he can launch that attack to do massive amount of damage and take out anyone.
Yasuke is very, very strong. He can barge through reinforced doors. He
I
can
don't know,
lift
man.
heavy
His
objects that
combat
Naoe
still
can't,
looks
but
just
that
a
means that
little
he's
bit
somewhat
on the
slowed down
clunkier
compared
side.
to Naoe.
Wait a sec. I gotta see that
But that
again.
means that he's somewhat slowed down compared to Naoe.
That looked rough. I'm not gonna lie. The fall of faith, I guess.
On the ground, that's where he shines.
We have two characters who have such different gameplay styles. So for every situation, every gameplay moment you're going to encounter, you really need to think through everything from these two perspectives.
Blood must be paid in blood, Yasuke.
We always want to respect player choice, so you can do quests with any character.
Oh, just look at how different everything looks just based off of the weather. I mean, one thing I would like to see maybe in the final game is so everything's pretty much the same in terms of like what they're wearing. The guy's like out in the sun and he's wearing the same outfit as he's wearing, like covered in snow. I would imagine he's probably like freezing his tits off here, so maybe something like, you know, having different outfits. Maybe that's too hard to implement in a game of this size, but it would be a nice touch, I guess.
So if you are Yasuke, you play with his strength, but also with his weakness. Same for Naoe. Each character has their own skill trees, but also they can master the different weapons. So it's not just about stats, it's about the player competency to really understand how
I wonder if we can like
mechanic
use them
works.
They
together
have
and like
different speeds,
chain
they have
combos or
different HP,
attacks
they have
together.
different gear sets, so they're very unique and they're a great balance of two player fantasies.
Bit of a delayed reaction there.
The most exciting part of having our dual protagonists is the distinction and the fact that they don't really overlap. Narratively, they have common goals and they are aligned on what they want to do, but the way they go about it is drastically different. Sometimes playing Naoe, even if you're very good, you'll hit a wall. Some enemy is going to kick your ass, and you go, you know what, let me switch. And the same is true for Yasuke. Sometimes you'll get a setup, a couple
I'm a big
enemies
fan
like
of
high
this.
on rooftop that you cannot quite reach, and
super
having to go,
glad
you know
that
what,
they went
let me
in
switch
this
back to
direction.
Naoe. And having this push-pull that players get to experience of which characters is good in what situation, it gives us lots of levers to play with and try to break the mold. I think is the most fantastic thing we've achieved with our dual protagonist from a gameplay perspective.
They definitely could have just not taken that risk and, just made one character just be able to do all of this. I'm super, super glad that they didn't do that. They could have also had two protagonists and have them not be too different from each other. But, with Assassin's Creed fatigue being a real thing now in 2024, I think this was a much needed change. I'm way more excited for this than I thought I would be initially. All right. Yeah, November 15th, not long to go now. All right, so that was Assassin's Creed Shadows, and that was a bit bittersweet. In a trailer titled The Dual Protagonists, it should have made it more clear as to how we'll be playing as those two protagonists, but it almost seems like it's made me have more questions than I do answers. In the last trailer, they almost made it seem like, every given section, you get to pick whether to play as Yasuke or Naoe. But this one almost makes me feel like they'll let us swap between the two, and that wasn't made very clear. So, maybe future trailers are gonna show us more and more of that. But something I would actually like to see a bit more of is just the scope of the map, the size. They've shown us a town in the last trailer, and then they showed us, a couple of forests, and they've a few snapshots from the synchronization locations. But, we haven't really seen things like how we're going to traverse, water traversal, things like, different kinds of towns, different kinds of historical locations during the 15th century in feudal Japan. So, I would just like to see a bit more of like, how big the game is, because we've been hearing that it's not going to be anywhere near as big as Odyssey or even Valhalla. So just things like that. So with the release date coming up, I imagine they're going to do a big marketing push and more trailers and just a lot more content around this game, and I'm all here for it. And if you like what you see, if you're excited for this game as well, just as much as I am, a subscribe would go a long way. Give a like if you enjoyed this, and we can create a little bit of a community and just enjoy the runway up to the game. I see a lot of cynicism and a lot of criticism for this game and the direction they've taken, and I for one am not in that camp, because not every game needs to be a Ghost of Tsushima. As much as I loved that game, Assassin's Creed Japan is something that was long awaited, and they needed to differentiate themselves somehow. And I think the direction that they've taken with this dual protagonist thing, with the Yasuke thing, I think it's a creative direction, as long as it's done well. I mean, it's Ubisoft, so as long as it's done well is a very important part of that. But, I think we're almost encouraged to be cynical. We're almost encouraged to be pessimistic around this game. And I don't buy into that ideology at all. So I'm liking what I'm seeing, and I want to see more of it. So if you want to join me along for that journey and be part of the community, give a like, give a subscribe, and just let me know in the comments below whether you're going to be playing as Naoe. Are you going to be playing as Yasuke? Are you concerned? Did you like this trailer? Did you not like this trailer? Anything that you have any opinion on this game, I would love to hear from you. So leave that in the comment below, and I'll see you in the next one.